At FIE, we're not just
students
and faculty.
We're not only learners
and lecturers.
We are expanding minds,
Expanding futures.
We're redefining the classroom.
We are life-changing.
eye-opening. We are a community.
Driven by our values.
That wants you.
You.
Yes, you.
To join.
Hello and welcome to In the Field, a podcast from FIE where we will be exploring all things study abroad. I'm Dr. Heidi James Dunbar, writer in residence and faculty, and I will be your host. In this episode, we're diving into the world of experiential education, a powerful approach to learning that goes beyond the classroom. Experiential education gives students the opportunity to apply academic concepts in real-world settings through things like internships, service learning, research projects, and hands-on fieldwork. It's all about learning by doing, reflecting, and growing through practical experience. And this kind of learning is especially important in study abroad programs where students are not only adjusting to a new academic environment, but also engaging with a different culture, workplace, and way of life. It deepens their global perspective, sharpens their professional skills, and often shapes their future career paths in meaningful ways. In this episode, we'll be focusing specifically on internships, one of the most impactful forms of experiential education during a study abroad experience. We'll be exploring what it's like to intern while studying abroad and what it's like to host international interns from the perspective of both students and site supervisors. To help us unpack all of this, I'll be talking with two former students, Eliana Alzate and Mollie Richter, about their internship experiences. And we'll also hear from Renata and Daniela from the UK-based charity Little Village, who have hosted international interns and will share their insights on mentorship, collaboration, and the value interns bring to their organisation. So, whether you're a student thinking about doing an internship abroad or someone who works with student interns, this episode will offer some valuable perspectives and advice. Let's get started. I'm really lucky to have been joined by Eliana Alzate, who was an FIE Explore Scholar this spring, 2025, at FIE in London. She's a computer science and English writing major with a media studies minor at DePaul University, class of 2026. Welcome. Thanks for joining me, Eliana.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to be part of this podcast.
Tell me what prompted you to study abroad?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually heard of FIE from a friend who was also part of the newspaper that I was in back in college. And I remember her talking about all the different experiences that she had, watching these West End plays in London, going out with different friends that she never knew before, and just trying out a different field through her internship because she was so used to journalism and then she hopped into, I believe it was advertising or marketing. So I was like, okay, I want to have that experience too. So basically I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and apply for FIE London because I've never been in Europe before. And I was just really fascinated by the different stories that I've heard from previous students. And I know that I'm already an international student. I'm from the Philippines who studied in America and now studying in Europe. But I just really love that concept of exploring a new place and adapting to a new culture. And London seemed to be such a beautiful place that seemed to be this hub of artistry and writing. So I just hopped onto the opportunity as soon as I can.
Fantastic. And how do you feel it's changed you?
Yeah, I think one thing that London taught me is to slow down and be more intentional about myself as a writer. Because before coming to FIE London, I was actually editor-in-chief of our newspaper, and we just came from a very fast-paced election season in the US. So I decided to go to London and consider that as my time to really reflect on who I was as a creative, not just as a journalist, but also as a human being. And while I was in London, I was offered a lot of opportunities to explore my creative voice through my classes and then try something new in my internship and also just explore the city basically. So I just remember hopping from library to library I don't know, every week or so. And I even went to a literary festival in Deptford. So I just really appreciated that kind of opportunity to explore the city, not just for the sake of exploring the city, but also absorbing new knowledge for myself as a creative. So I think it really taught me that the world is much wider than what I thought it was. So I think I definitely grew as a creative and a human being.
And tell me about your internship.
Yeah, so I interned with Boulder Creek International based in London, and they were a boutique television production and distribution company. And that was really interesting for me coming from a newsroom mindset and then hopping into this distribution and marketing company that I haven't heard of at all. And I remember the first time I went into the office and I realized, oh, okay, this is a shared office where I'm gonna be like in front of a computer all day and like focus on making spreadsheets, on PowerPoints, all those kinds of stuff. It was so different from what I was used to because I remember in the newsroom, I would have an assignment and then I would go interview someone and then I would record some audio and then I would go back and write the article. So it was basically like sitting in one place to focus on particular project instead of going around different places and then submit a project. So the main thing that I remember doing was researching a lot. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about how a TV production and distribution company works and how they communicate with different tourism boards and different TV networks because I really wanted to understand something that I was completely new to. So, yeah, I appreciate that experience of trying something new. And I think it's something that a lot of young professionals should do at least once in their life because if they know how to adapt to a new space, then they know how to adapt anywhere, basically. I mean, it's scary in the first few weeks, but as time goes on, it gives you more confidence in what you can bring to the table.
Yeah. And how many days a week were you in your internship?
I was there for 3 days a week, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Right. So, almost a professional working week, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
And you have a class to support the internship. That's
Yes, it was the international internship course. And that was very fascinating for me because I've been through, I think it was three, four, I don't remember the exact number. I've been through a few internships before, but I haven't had a class that supplements my internship. So it was like an out of body experience, but in a good way, that I was reflecting on what I was doing every week and submitting it for class, and then going through the internship again and then reflecting on it for class. And it was really helpful, I would say, because compared to my past experiences where sometimes I would beat myself up for making a single mistake on a document or just like missing a quick deadline, this time I actually understood how my mind worked and how the company's goals were shifting along with my journey. So I did appreciate that kind of opportunity to reflect on myself and like find the growth and the meaning in the mistakes that I was making.
Yeah. And do you think all your internships and this one in London adds to all your skill sets that are transferable? Like, how does that work for you? What do you feel you've grown in during this experience?
Yeah, one interesting experience I had was using my journalism mindset for the marketing internship. I remember I was asked to make a one pager, which is basically a brief summary and a visual representation of this fighting TV show. And then at first I panicked, like, how do I do this? I have no idea how to do this. And then I kind of found a way to adjust it to my journalistic mindset. I decided to put a lead sentence, like the first sentence, and then the nut graph, which explains what the story is about, and then the body paragraphs, which is basically the rest of the piece. So I shifted what I knew to my current job and my current task. So I realized that, okay, I can actually use my previous skills and put it to something completely new. And I kind of want to use that for all my projects going forwards. And I think if you find a way to do that in every single placement that you have, it's really valuable, especially when you're in a lost place. So
I agree. All the skills, everything we learn, because sometimes it feels like, when am I ever going to use this again? But you really never know how things will
yeah,
transfer and how they enrich you.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly. It comes out of nowhere.
do you feel this has really sort of built your confidence and your sense of self-reliance?
Yeah, because other than my internship being in a different industry from what I'm used to, it's also in a different country than what I'm used to. It's different from the Philippines, it's also different from the US. And it made me realize that people have different communication styles, especially if they come from different cultures, because my boss was British American, and then our communication supervisor was British, and then I had a coworker who was Ukrainian. So it's like every time I was talking to a single person, I had to remember, okay, how do they like to work in a daily setting? How do they like to talk about things outside of work? So that kind of made me realize that you have to read the room first before you jump into something, because you don't want to overwhelm the person and you want to make sure that you can work harmoniously with them. So definitely another big thing is like intercultural communication. And it's something I'm still continuously learning, but I'm glad that I had that experience so I know how to adapt with a different culture in the future.
Yeah, it's an incredibly valuable skill to have. I agree. And you're right, we're all still learning. It's something that evolves
Mhm.
continually as we grow. If you were to sort of offer advice to a student who's incoming about their internship, what would you say you think are the key aspects for success in your internship?
Yeah, I'd say first thing, ask a lot of questions, but know when to ask them. Because coming in, I definitely knew that I wasn't 100% aware of what I was doing, and I wanted to make sure I put my best foot forward. But at the same time, I realized that my boss liked it when I saved my questions at the very end of a session or when he's not busy. So I think it's important to ask questions, but know the best time to ask them. And then second is to be proactive and do your own research, because that was always the big thing that my supervisor was telling me. Her advice for me was to be a step ahead of your manager, because I know sometimes it's difficult when you're stepping into a new place, but we have the internet now and you can go on YouTube and find different things about your industry. You can even network with different people who are in those industry and ask them for help if you're struggling. Like I even contacted the previous FIE London student who did the internship I was doing, which was really helpful. And third, I say enjoy the experience, because I feel like if you get too caught up in the motions, you'll think, okay, I have to do this for a grade, or I just have to do really well so I can put this on my resume next time. But I think the more that you find the joy and the sense of play in your experience, the more you're going to produce more productive and meaningful work. Because for me, I remember at first I was like, oh my gosh, what do I contribute to a marketing company? And then I realized, oh wait, I do have social media experience because I posted a lot on Instagram as a newsroom editor. So I remember making this proposal about improving the social media strategies of Boulder Creek International. And I can tell that my boss and supervisor really enjoyed listening to this new perspective. So if you think that you have something fresh and valuable to bring to the table, definitely advocate for that. I know it might take more courage and more proactivity, but I promise it's worth it, both for yourself and the company if they haven't considered this new idea before. So yeah, those are my top three advice for incoming students.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Eliana, and congratulations on a very successful semester abroad. And I wish you
Thank you.
all the best of luck in your future. Hello, Daniela and Renata. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to ask you about the experience of hosting interns and how they help the organisation and what they might learn and experience from interning with you.
Hello, thank you for having us. I'm Renata, and I am the baby bank manager for our Brent Hub, where all this experience started with international students, and so far has been so great because the interns, they bring a kind of fresh perspective for us, also the energy and the support that we need really across areas from Little Village, like family support, community engagement, and I believe bringing them here, it's good for them to have like insight into the UK charity sector. So I've seen like students who come from a very wealth background, and then for them to see the different people and also be in contact with families and see that they can experience difficulties and poverty and be there to help them and learn this, I think is really valuable for them because it's like it's a life experience, really.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What kind of things do they do for you? Are they doing admin? Like you say, you work with families, but do they work across a broad sort of part of the charity with you?
Yeah, so basically they work with us in the hubs. So that means when we are seeing families, because we have families in the hubs coming to choose and collect their items for the babies. And then they are there, they check the family's details, and then they help them to choose those items and also to see if they need any extra help, if the families are experience other kinds of adversities like financial, or if they need a food bank voucher. So those things we can start posting them. So they are involved with the families on the ground, but they are also doing like sorting the donations that we get through the door. So this is very, very important for us because there's a certain quality that we want the families to receive. So the whole idea is that the families are receiving a gift. So obviously you don't give a gift with a stain or a hole. So they make sure alongside the other volunteers that there is a really good quality check in everything that we get donated. So between seeing families, sorting, packing for families, reorganizing things in the shop area. So we try to get them involved with everything in the hub.
Yeah, that's really very valuable for them, I can imagine. Yeah. And how might students prepare for interning? And is there anything about the experience that you guys think is really quite valuable for both the students who are interning and the site that's hosting them?
Yeah, so I'm Daniela. Yes, I'm the volunteer recruitment manager. So I'm the one who interviews them before their internship. So I really think so far all the students that we had were amazingly prepared. But what I can always suggest is that once they receive they see the name Little Village as an option for their internship in London, they should really go on our website and read about us, read about what we do, about the referral process, which might be different from the US or might be something that they've never heard about, and maybe go on our Instagram page as well, because we share a lot of things about how we work and how we help families and how also our volunteers are involved. So they might get prepared about, for my questions, which are not really difficult at all, but also to understand if this is the right internship and the right opportunity for them. So we want them to be very valuable to us, of course, when they are with us for the few weeks. But at the same time, we want it to be the best experience that they can have while they are in London. And as Renata said, especially because when they are in London, they are usually in nice areas, and they're very lucky to stay, in very, very nice areas of London. Seeing the Brent Hub specifically, which is in a, it has a different demographic around, different area, it might open up, their mind and their heart, especially to situations that they've never found themselves in, luckily. So yeah, I think personally, all the students that we host so far, have been really, really involved and felt like really touched by their experience with Little Village. So the value in having the doing the internship with us is that it changes your life. Like, yeah, most of us started as volunteers and now we're staff, and some of our volunteers never want to leave. And the students' feedback is really, really great so far.
Thank you, Daniela and Renata. Little Village is one of many organisations that we partner with to place our student interns. We have placements in business and entrepreneurship, through to journalism, entertainment, performing arts, fashion, finance and accountancy, cultural organisations, politics, and as you heard, charity. So there really is a placement for everyone. And sometimes an internship can be life-changing, as we'll hear from Mollie. Hello, welcome, Mollie. Tell me something about your study abroad experience.
Yeah, so I came here, I think it was summer 2017, so it's been a while now. And I came with some friends from my university, and the experience just really helped me get closer to them. I'm still friends with a lot of those people on that trip. And we became a lot closer during the trip because we got to experience a new environment and new culture. So that was really fun to, go on pub trips with people. And I went to Dublin with some people during the trip. So I built really strong friendships. And then, yeah, I was able to intern at a company in the industry that I work in now. So I had a really good time just, learning about the industry over in London, learning about the way that things work over here. And I had a really good sort of internship supervisor, and she, it gave me a lot to do and helped me sort of learn about what I'm doing now. So that was really, really fun.
How would you say that the internship and study abroad experience has impacted your professional life?
Yeah, well, I pretty much do as my job now what my internship was. So I work in entertainment right now in London. I work sort of in the comedy, theater, entertainment space with actors and writers and comedians. And so I did that as my internship. I was like an intern at an agency, like management company, production company. And now I work in that in London as my career. So it pretty much just helped add to my CV and helped give me the boost that I needed because I had London experience when I came back to work here full time. So it helped me like get a job once I moved over here. And even if I was still in the States, it helped. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All experience helps, right? But that is pretty remarkable. Clearly, London enticed you to come back, and you liked it enough to come back.
And pretty much that trip like inspired me to come back. Like I came to London when I was like 14 on a different trip, and I wasn't sure if I liked the city very much. And I came back when I was 20 and I like loved it. And so yeah, then I came back and I've been living here ever since.
Do you think there were lots of other skills, sort of softer skills that you learned whilst you were studying abroad, say like building your confidence or sense of resilience? How do you think that affected you?
Yeah, I definitely think I became more confident just talking to people from different places because I think, being from where I'm from in the States is sort of a bubble type of environment. And I think I had know a lot of people who come over here to visit, and they definitely are still in that bubble and they're not able to connect as much with other people. And I think coming over here helped me like build up my ability to sort of connect with international people and people from all over. And then I'm trying to think. Yeah, it just sort of helped. I feel like my internship, especially, like grow my confidence in interacting and knowing what I'm doing in terms of my professional abilities and just like communicating with people.
Yeah, no, that cultural competence you build is really valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, because I remember they told us this on my first day of FIE. It was like you speak the same language, but you're split by different cultures. How the UK and America might both speak English, but they're actually vastly different in the way that they live their lives, which I feel like is so true after living here. I moved back in 2019, so I've lived here for like 6, 7 years now, and I go back home to the States to visit, and I feel like it's so different.
Yeah, yeah. It's really impressive what you've
Yeah.
achieved, Mollie. What would you say to someone who was considering study abroad and interning? Would you give them any advice?
Yeah, I think I would just say like keep an open mind to the differences between yourself and the place you're going because I think I came here, and again, the people I came with too were very similar to me. And I found that when I was opening myself up to like the new experiences of London, going beyond just like the classroom and our bubble where we were staying and trying to explore different parts of London and just like, and in general, like studying abroad in general, exploring different people and activities and like doing stuff I wouldn't normally do, it actually has made me really grateful because I feel like I've been able to experience such different things that have made me like a more whole person.
Yeah, brilliant. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
To learn more about internships, our faculty, courses, and programs, visit our website www.fie.org.uk. And if you've enjoyed this episode, check out our others wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you for listening. FIE provides life-changing study abroad experiences in the UK, Ireland, and Spain. As a non-profit educational organisation, we are passionately invested in making a difference for our students as the future global leaders of tomorrow and the field of international education as a whole. The FIE podcast is a creative and academic space for exploring everything, the people, the places and opportunities that make your experience so valuable and exciting.
FIE, we're here to help you
Unlock a wider
brighter future.